continuing the Civilopedia. See if there's anything else new. Actually, the most important advance, you could argue, isn't anything military, but rather this, which is actually cheap and, for the most part, peaceful. It's an alternative to a settler. Workers can't actually build cities. They can join cities, but they can't build them. But they're very useful for building up improvements because they don't cost very much. They don't require food in the way that settlers do. So you can build a lot of them and get a lot of work done without the same disadvantages as using settlers. Now, having said that, you can't actually do the same improvements that you would do with settlers in Civilization 1 and 2. And in addition, you also need the pottery advance to build workers, as opposed to explosives for engineers. We can look at those next. They're basically improved workers in the context of Civilization 3. Actually, I'm searching here for a unit that doesn't exist, because in Civilization 3, your workers are upgraded automatically to more modern engineers or what have you, as your civilization develops the technology for them. Oh, the ironclads, that's a little aside. They give you monitors. That's kind of cool. You need iron and coal to build them, but it's maybe one of the coolest ironclads in the Civilization series. Oh yeah, and the modern armor. So you need oil, rubber, and aluminum to build them. They replace the original armor, but again, you need a lot of resources. Get mobile SAMs, which you didn't have in the original Civilization. And you don't need any special resources to build them either, which is nice. So, original paratrooper. Worker actions. You can build a colony. That's a new feature. You can clear damage from bombing raid or whatever, which is sort of like cleaning up pollution. Also, you have volcanoes in Civilization 3. That's something new, and you need to clean up after them from time to time. Terrain, volcano. That's something totally new. They erupt at random, and they are indeed an obstacle to your civilization. Resources. These are the most important things you have to pay attention to, because in the original Civilization they were very useful to have. In Civilization 3, you must have them to build all kinds of important things. You need aluminum, you need cattle, you need all kinds of things to get anywhere, actually. Strategic resources. These indeed are. Basically, it means military resources. Bonus resources. These were in the original Civilization. Much less important. Luxury resources are useful for trade, especially if you need to get the strategic resources from another civilization. Game concepts. There are a few new ones. Really, the most important, arguably, is assimilation. Assimilation is a process by which foreign nationals change their nationality, because when you invade a city of another civilization in Civilization 3, the foreigners there do not immediately integrate into your society. So you need to be very nice to them to get them to join you. city defection can even happen if foreign propaganda is successful or if you're very bad at running your society. Now, another thing, bombardment. A ship moored at a dock or at anchor is unable to quickly maneuver, therefore naval units in port are especially vulnerable to bombardment attacks. That's actually true also in the original Civilization and in Civilization 2. But bombardment occurs when a ranged unit or air unit attacks without entering the defender's square. So this is significant because many of your weapons can no longer fight in the traditional way. Battleships are overwhelmingly better at bombardment than anything else, and they're still not very good at that. So as I stated earlier, they're one of the less powerful units. That's a significant change from earlier versions of Civilization. Air missions, you have to tell the unit what it's supposed to be doing. You don't actually fortify them in your cities to defend the city the way you would do in Civilization 2. Instead, you give it an air superiority mission. If you want to send it to bomb something, you have to tell it that specifically. Precision strikes can only be done by stealth aircraft. Attacking specific city improvements. Recon missions, well, you have to give a specific instruction. You can't just move it around like a traditional unit. And then the rebase or ferry missions are obvious. So you're actually quite restricted in how you can use your air and naval units, which I don't particularly like. Transport. Some naval in one air unit can carry or transport other units. So helicopters can transport ground units. Ships, depends on the ship. They're not telling you that, though. Alright. Index, well, they give you a lot of different information. Out of curiosity, let's see if America has a distinct unit. Ah, F-15. Okay, I didn't realize that. That is realistic, actually. America's always had an exceptionally formidable air force, at least since World War II, anyway. I guess maybe they didn't put the stealth in there because it would make it way too unfair. And Russia, where you can build Cossacks, even though historically are often credited with being Ukrainian. You can't be the Ukrainians in this version of Civilization. Arabia, Ansar warriors. Don't know a lot about these. Need horses and iron, though, obviously. Kind of like knights. China. Riders. Okay. I guess they're supposed to be Chinese knights of sorts. It's horses and iron. And Greece, hoplites, obviously. Yeah, so it's interesting. But I think this concludes my introduction. I'll do the playthrough next.